So the Philadelphia 76ers go into Boston without Joel Embiid, their best player, the guy who's probably going to win the MVP, and they beat the Celtics. Even though the Celtics shot 60% from the floor, 39% from three, and 95% from the free throw line. Philadelphia won. 119 to 115. Because James Harden, a player who I have been hard on, to say the least, about his playoff resume and how he performs in the playoffs. Despite that, he goes in and he scores 45 points, including the game-winning three. Tyrese Maxey played really well. 76ers as a whole shot extremely well. They shot 45% from three. That's why they won. They made 7 more threes than Boston did. You know, I say it all the time on this channel. I say it all the time on my podcast. The three-point shot covers for a multitude of sins. If you make more threes than your opponent, you got a good chance of winning, even when your opponent shoots 60% from the field. And look, Harden was great. Maxey was great. They played really well. Tobias Harris, I thought, played well. But let's be honest. Boston lost that game. Okay, like as great as Philadelphia played, Boston lost. Philadelphia didn't win. They didn't play defense. They just thought that they could waltz into TD Garden with better players, because don't get it twisted, Boston has better players than Philadelphia. They thought they could just waltz in there and cakewalk to a victory. Oh, we don't need to play defense. We can score whenever we want against these guys. Jayson Tatum, 14 of 25 from the field. Jaylen Brown, 8 of 10 from the field. Malcolm Brogdon, 9 of 16 from the field. They shot really, really well. But they couldn't get stops. They couldn't defend the three-point line, which makes no sense for this Boston Celtics team. Because people love to tell me how great of a defender Jaylen Brown is. People love to tell me how great of a defender Jayson Tatum is. People love to tell me that Marcus Smart was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. People love to tell me all these things, but yet against the Hawks, we saw them take possessions off defensively, and their talent won out, their ability to score won out. The Hawks' lack of consistency on the offensive side of the ball won out for the Celtics. Philadelphia is not Atlanta. Philadelphia can score with anybody, as we saw last night. Lots of shooters. Lots of shooters. Joel Embiid, the guy who's going to win the MVP. Once again, I know he didn't play last night, but still, for the series as a whole, Philadelphia is going to be able to score the basketball. And Boston has to figure out what it wants to do. Is Boston going to show up and play defense? If Boston shows up and they decide to play defense, because this is one of the best defensive teams in the league whenever they want to be, but the question is, do they want to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, or do they just want to show up, hit a whole bunch of shots, walk out and say, hey, we lost, but I had 30. That's the question. Boston shows up and plays defense, Boston will win this series. They'll come back, they'll go on the road to Philadelphia, and they'll win. But if they decide that they don't want to play defense, then they're not going to win this series. Simple as that. Once again, James Harden, fantastic performance. There are your flowers. Tyrese Maxey, guy who had struggled against the Celtics, only averaging 10 points a game against the Celtics throughout his career, comes in, scores over 20. I think he finished with like 24, 25, somewhere in there. Played really well. 76ers as a whole, he played well. He shot the ball well. Good job. But Boston, you got to show up, and you got to play defense. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments, do you think that Boston can bounce back after losing the first game? Let me know how Joel Embiid coming back affects the series. Let me know who you have winning the series. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you comment as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later.